Okay, so I'm going to pick up where I left off last time. We are now going to go to page 30 in figure 117. So I'm going to go back to the Mind Tap page and want to make this bigger so I can see it better, or just move it. I'm just going to move it, make it bigger. So search this course, and I'm going to page 30, HTML 30. Go to page 30, and it takes me to the full book. Now, not sure if there's a way to expand, make this bigger, so you can see all the content, which is a frustration, but it'll hopefully give you an idea where to look at regarding the top of the page. So the top of the page is 110D, so I'm going to go ahead and close that out, and we're going to go to 110D, which is right here. Scroll down, and you can see all the content for figure 1-17, which is what we're going to be working on. Make that a little bit bigger so I can see it. I'm going to make some adjustments here so I can see both screens. So I'm going to click Restore Down. And this is one of the nuances of working on one laptop, one screen. It's something that you'll become more comfortable with the more you do it. So I'm going to move some things around so I can see what I need to see. Okay, that's good. So we start, this is where we're at right now. This should be similar. The only thing that we're doing is we're going to be marking some text level content. So we're going to be using strong tags, emphasis tags, citations, and quoted materials. So the content we already wrote from the previous lesson. And so remember, we were talking about nested tags, how we have, let's see if I can make this bigger. We have our P tags, which indicate a paragraph. And then we're going to nest it with strong. So curbside tie is going to be bold or strong. So only thing we need to really do in this lesson right here is to add some tags. So we're going to click on right before curbside, and we're going to type in the word strong, if I could spell it. And we're going to do the closing of strong right there. If you have your extensions working, which I didn't restart mine, so mine don't, and if the word strong, the closing tag of strong appears like right after here, like it would look like that, you would have to delete it, just backspace it, and put that closing tag of strong after the word tie and before the word greens. Okay, so that's one thing we're going to do. Let's go ahead and preview that. So we're going to hit Control S to save. I want to open up my browser window where I still have this file and hit refresh, and you can see curbside tie is now bold. So I'm going to go back to the browser. The next thing we need to do on this is to emphasis, which make it look like italic. So this was on the second paragraph, the last few words of it. It says curbside tie will deliver. So they want to emphasize that so the user can see that, hey, they're delivering. So you would do the opening tag of EM, and then you're going to do the closing tag of EM. You're going to save it, Control S, open up your browser window again, hit refresh, You can see curbside tie will deliver is now italicized. Okay, we're going to go back to VS Code. And let's see, we're going to add some citations. So contact us. So we're going to cite Carolina Traveler. So do the opening cite before the word Carolina and the closing cite after the word traveler. And then we are going to do the quote material for the finest Asian food on or off the streets of Charlotte. So we're going to do the Q tag before the word the, after the word calls, and before the word the. And we're going to do the closing Q tag after the word Charlotte and before the closing P tag. So when you nest them, there's an order to it. Like this closing P is related to this opening P. So the closing and the opening Q happened after the opening P. So the closing Q should be before the closing P. Okay. So I think that was pretty much it. So let's go ahead and hit Control S to save it. Go to the browser. I'm gonna expand this browser window and hit refresh. And you can see how we did the site for Carolina Traveler. And there's quotes around the finest Asian food in all the streets of Charlotte. Now, it looks very similar. This looks very similar to this, just looking at the aesthetics of it. They're both looking italicized, so what's the difference? The difference will matter later on whenever you start looking more into the components of creating a website and web development. And we start looking at accessibility issues, why some people use screen readers, how search engine optimization will have an impact on it. So there's reasons that we have certain tags, that we utilize certain tags, even though just looking at this, it looks the exact same thing. So we're just practicing the utilizing the tags, have an understanding of what they are, which helps whenever you practice and repetition and read the content in the chapter. So that's all for this video. This will have completed page 30, figure 1-17.